A film story has many different variables. Plot structure, genres, and styles, just to name a few, but director Tim Burton took all these and created something brand new with his feature film. He took the concept of the hero's journey and flipped it on its head and warped it to create his plot of this film. Then he took several different movie genres and combined them into something that had never been seen before. He did all this alongside his very first fully stop-motion animated feature film, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. So come along with me as I explore how The Nightmare Before Christmas not only changed kid cinema, but all of cinema as a whole for good. In FezCast, Episode 1, The Nightmare Before Christmas's Legacy on Film. So let's get into it. So let's first start off with story structure, more specifically the hero's journey. Firstly, let's explain what this concept of the hero's journey actually is. The hero's journey was first coined by Joseph Campbell and follows 12 basic story beats. Firstly, we have the ordinary world, where we meet our main character. Then, the call to adventure, where the hero receives a call to action like a threat, which leads directly into the refusal of the call, that causes something to happen to push the character into action. Then our hero meets the mentor, who gives him an important object, information, or lesson. Now our hero is ready to cross the threshold, where they embark on their journey. After stepping out of their comfort zone, they face many challenges and enemies. And right before our hero reaches their end goal, they approach the inmost cave or the final threshold, where our hero once again faces a challenge or doubts. This all culminates in the ordeal, or death and rebirth, where our hero loses or dies, also known as a false defeat, which changes the character in one form or another. This leads us to the reward, when our hero faces one of their threats having been changed, which pushes us into the road back, in which our hero returns after being changed, preparing for the final battle, also known as the resurrection, in which our hero faces the final and ultimate threat, with the lessons learned along the way. After this, we end with the return with the elixir, where our hero returns from where they left, having been changed and learning new lessons along the way, and either a literal or metaphorical reward. So now let's look how The Nightmare Before Christmas both uses and breaks the hero's journey. We start off with Halloween Town right off the heels of another successful Halloween, Ordinary World. And then our quote-unquote hero, Jack, the Pumpkin King, is faced with his internal struggle of not enjoying his holiday anymore and wanting something new. And after going on a walk, finds a group of doors leading into other holiday realms. This is where the first break in the structure is. There's a call to action, but not really a refusal, but Jack is still pushed into it when he opens the door and falls into Christmas Town. After discovering this new place, Jack is mesmerized by all the newfound things: snow, happiness, lack of death, and discovers Santa Claus, the meeting of the mentor, both Christmas Town and Santa. After his discovery, Jack returns to Halloween Town with newfound knowledge. After holding a town meeting, he decides that he will revolutionize his town, crossing the threshold. But after some deep thoughts, Jack decides to take over Christmas. Along the way, challenges develop, like Lock, Shock, and Barrel kidnapping the wrong mascot, and allies are made with Dr. Finkelstein as they develop toys and skeleton reindeer. Enemies are also developed as Lock, Shock, and Barrel toss Santa to Oogie Boogie. Test, allies, and enemies. And then right before Jack takes off to the skies, Sally tampers with the well, causing tremendous amounts of fog to bellow. But the threshold is crossed when Zero, the ghost dog's nose, lights up a la Rudolph, and takes the lead of the reindeer. Then Jack is off, final threshold. But as he flies off, Sally goes in search of Santa, but gets caught by Oogie Boogie. Meanwhile, as Jack delivers presents, terrifying the children, police and military forces track him down and shoot him out of the sky. Death and rebirth. And after this, Jack has a deep look at what he's done and comes to the realization that he is the Pumpkin King, and reignites his love for the holiday, the reward. Jack then goes on his final quest to rescue Santa and, in turn, Sally, the road back. Once reaching his lair, Jack defeats Oogie Boogie and saves Santa and Sally, the resurrection. Jack returns the two to Halloween Town, and Santa leaves to set Christmas right again. Snow begins to fall, and Jack and Sally share a special romantic final scene, Return with the Elixir. As you can see, Tim Burton both utilizes and changes the hero's journey to fit his film. But there's another difference in this hero's journey use that sets it apart from the others. Jack, our main character, isn't really a hero at all. He is more of an anti-hero bordering on villain. Think about it. Throughout the entire film, are we rooting for him to save the day, stop the evil bad guy from ruining Christmas, to save Santa, to learn a Christmas lesson? Heck no. We are rooting for Jack to take over Christmas, to kidnap the Santa Claus, and to twist the holiday with his warped imagination. Burton taps into audiences' gravitation towards villain characters in this very film. So think about it. Why are villains so well known? It's because they are written in such a way that the audience can fall in love with their evil deeds. Villains like Darth Vader, the Joker, Thanos, Voldemort, or even Gollum, These people have bled into pop culture, not because they are heroic, no, but because they are villains. But not just evil villains, but villains with character and depth. Now let's take a look at Jack. He isn't a hero. Far from it. He is literally the king of Halloween Town. That's quite the giveaway. But he's not all evil and malicious. He has a soft side, and longs for something different, but goes about it in a very nefarious way. Tim Burton created this character at Disney of all places, the company known for black and white heroes and villains, and fairly kid-friendly content, except parent deaths. Rip Mufasa and Bambi's mother. Anyway, I digress. But Tom had a completely different imagination. He liked the more darker sides of things, which clashed with his employer Disney. But after his success outside the company with more grittier films, with the exception of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Disney decided to bring him back to visualize his idea for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim hired Henry Selick to direct, and Danny Elfman to produce the music. These two people helped Burton to bring his vision to life. Other people who contributed greatly were Eric Layton, who was the supervisor of animation, and the over 100 crew members who made it possible to produce Burton's very first fully stop-motion animated feature film. Another thing that sets Nightmare Before Christmas apart from the others is the visual style. It combines styles like children's movies, musicals, horrors, Christmas, and Tim Burton's personal character touch to create a one-of-a-kind film. As we can see, Tim Burton created an idea, and in turn a movie, that combined different genres, styles, and movie tropes, and became in and of itself its own style of movie and genre. This has inspired so many different creators, not only in the children's film space, but also in normal cinema, to take leaps with their storytelling, and to lean more into the grittier side of cinema. All due to the story of a skeleton kidnapping Santa Claus and attempting to take over Christmas. A true children's classic.